Interview with Bob and Todd of Dissent. Number 2.
Number 2. Take one.
Did you use the first one?
Yeah, I wrote it up. It was going to go on the second one, but
This will probably be cooler.
cut out the shitty question.
Be more punk rock.
Yeah.
Which is all that matters. Not really.
Running around in your underwear at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. You're arrested, buddy. Out of here, pal.
Get the hell out of here.
So what did you think of the night?
Tonight was really cool. We had a really good time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never played here before. One of the things we wanted to do on this tour is to hit a major part of the country that we haven't played before. Which is the southeast corner of the U.S. And it was really cool.
Yeah, it was
really
we
fun.
had a really good response.
A lot of really, really cool people.
Yeah.
And we had a really good time. And, I mean, the little incident about being shut down early is like, it's a bummer, but there's no way that we're going to go on the rest of the tour or look back in the future on this show and say it sucked. We'll look back on the show and say it was really cool because I had a really good time.
Yeah. It's cool going new places because, I mean, we don't expect tons of people to know all about us. And it's cool when we go places and we get good. It's like, we had a great response from the time we walked up there.
I mean, we're realistic. We know that most people haven't heard of us. We've had 3 records, but it's like we don't press, 10,000 records at a time like big labels and stuff. We press like 1,000 at a time. And we sell mostly through mail. So it's not like, we don't expect to go places and have people holding flags in front of the show going Dissent.
Yeah.
We just hope that the people are there like us.
Waiting in line for 3 days.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Even people like
Tonight,
you guys that traveled here.
Tonight was the weirdest show on this tour so far just because so many people traveled
Yeah,
to
it
see
was
us.
fucking great.
It was weird. Some people traveled because there's not a lot of shows, and some people traveled because they knew us like you guys.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really weird. It's not something we're used to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's really cool. We really appreciate
It makes my bladder swell. No.
Wouldn't want that.
Okay, question 2, you guys. Put you on the spot here.
What was your swim like today?
Our swim?
Yeah.
It was great.
You guys saw it.
You guys heard about it. You know what
the
it's like.
people who are going to be reading it did.
We decided when we were going on this tour, we're like, because Curtis hasn't seen either ocean, and Todd hasn't seen the Atlantic Ocean. And so we thought we're going to swim in both oceans just to say we did it.
On one trip, just because we say, yeah, we traveled coast to coast on one trip.
Yeah, so we decided we had to go down and swim, and if everybody was looking at us funny, it was cool.
It wasn't really that cold.
See, I wanted you to do it, but from what happened tonight, I'm glad I did.
I got a great idea. There's no cops on me, but now I've got
It'd be cold shit tonight. No, it was cool. It was fun.
You think there's no cops, but there's plenty of them.
Yeah, there's secret police down there.
Ocean's right underwater.
Yeah, ocean is so cool. It's like, when you don't see it for a long time, but you look out and that's all you see is on the horizon.
But y'all were
water.
lucky though. Y'all were lucky. Y'all went to the beach here in Myrtle Beach. Y'all would have went the first time. Y'all went to some of the houses and couches.
Yeah, it's probably true. It is weird because, like, the hurricane thing, I called Daryl the night everything was getting bad. I called him up and he's like, yeah, we're drinking
Cops
beer.
came here
We're not
twice,
evacuating. Everybody was hanging out, and then, like, I couldn't get a hold of some people for a couple days. And it was just coincidence that the phone was busy. I thought the phone lines were fucked up, but everybody survived. It's cool.
What's really strange is that we're playing here, and what was it, a month and a half ago, the hurricane was here? A month ago?
About a month.
And then
By the time we got to San Francisco, it'll be about a month since there was an earthquake. So we play coast to coast, but on each coast there was a natural disaster.
And we know a lot of people from both places.
It's really weird.
Both of them are spot.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Both places was like, we didn't really have any idea for a while if people we knew were okay or not. Because we tried to get through to here and phone lines were down for a long time, and it took us a while to be able to get through to San Francisco. And there's people killed up there.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's scary.
And it interrupted the World Series.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Oh my God.
That's pretty wild, too.
That is weird. That's a pretty major thing for you.
Yeah, but people were scared shitless.
I bet they were.
In those stadiums,
Yeah.
you'd be scared shitless.
Like
If you're like sitting there
70,000.
and like 5 seconds later you saw like the stadium
I saw a
fucking
picture of this
cracking
bridge.
half.
It was like all crushed and crushed.
Yeah,
It only took 15 seconds.
Did you see the part where like the bridge cracked and this car was like dropping down the bridge and all of a sudden the bridge
What do you want, Kurt?
the car like dropped in the crack?
What?
Everybody knows what happens with an earthquake. You go to a 1% question.
Kurt, shut up.
We have, what,
How did you
45
get the name Dissent?
Because we were kind of a band fucking around and stuff, and all of a sudden we were gonna play the show, we didn't have a name yet, and all of a sudden it dawned upon us what happened. And what was kind of funny is the more and more that we went on as a band, the meaning really meant more about what we were about. You know?
That comes out of half of your party.
Tim, this is the interview. You want to join?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there was for a while.
With your band.
For a while, we did. We were thinking about getting a new name, but
It stuck and it was always cool.
like the definition became really more real to us. The
Yeah.
definition of the word is why we chose the name, and it's why we keep it.
Yeah. Because like the B definition in the Webster's Dictionary is nonconformity, and that's cool. And you know, and even you see people when they're referred to as dissenting at something or dissenting, it's usually pretty positive. You know, 'cause
Like in China, they say the people that were
right.
you know, going for democracy and stuff, and they call them dissenters.
I think I heard that on the news.
Yeah, you read a lot of stuff.
See,
And the more and more it happened too, I was going, wow, this is all right. You know, after a while. 'Cause at first, I think any band that's using the name is kind of, it's kind of weird because I don't know. You know what I mean? There's so many bands that either have initials or else, you know, kind of a cliche kind of thing. And I think it worked out well because, you know, and even like Daryl said that they first named their band like Mass. Mass Confusion.
Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal. And
There's
there's
a
already a
band in
band,
Australia.
right? And like, and nobody had the name Dissent yet, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and
You
now
know,
it
when we
seems,
first started
now
out-
it seems really fucking obvious. Like, why didn't somebody already have it?
Yeah, because you know, because when we first started out, punk rock was just starting out in our town, and you know, we didn't know about the whole big giant scene that much, and so, you know, it was kind of cool. It worked all out and good. Okay, you believe it? Question 9.
Go.
How about let your life be a friction of the machine? Are you still into that, or?
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah. In fact, we just kind of forgot about that song.
There they are, those fuckers.
We might have had to fucking go up to those cops tonight and said, no,
Hey,
cops.
I'm here.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with that is just like, it's just the whole thing of so many people go through, just like we were talking about at the show, so many people go through life and they don't question anything. And not like you have to be involved in every issue or do this and this and this, but it actually isn't that hard to just be aware of things, you know? And the more aware you are, the more you can like kind of pattern what you do. So it's, you know, it's a friction, but it's just like a natural thing. And the more you do it, the better it feels and the easier it is, you know? Just going places and realizing, you know, what things support and, you know, things like that.
It's like
It's a lot more simpler and like non-political or whatever than some people make it to be, you know.
yeah, it's like there's a lot of people that don't like what's going on, but don't choose to do anything about it, and they think that by not doing anything, that they're not supporting it, but that's wrong. I mean, the major percentage of people are carrying on a certain attitude or something, and there's people that go against it, but there's all these people that say they don't like it. If they don't do anything against it, they're still going along with it. If you're not, you know, it's like, you're not, what is that? There's like a famous quote.
like
If you're
they-
not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's
They
totally
really want
true.
you
Yeah, but
It's like a whole
totally,
thing
it's
that
totally
you
true.
get
You
to
might
do.
not, you might watch the news and say, gosh, all this stuff is happening really sucks, but don't do anything. You don't do anything blatantly to oppose something that you don't like that's going on, then you are as bad as the people who intentionally perpetuate that situation, because it's only carried on because people don't speak out against it. People don't do anything about it.
Would do you guys march, protest?
We have before. It's a lot of times. See, where we are, there's not a whole lot of
Not really a
organization
lot
or
of
people into
activity,
it.
period.
You know what I mean? Like when we were in D.C., the thing that impressed me the most about that whole town and that whole scene was just that the people seemed to be, a lot of people were really involved in trying to do some things like that, and it's cool. And like we were walking around town and we went by the Vietnam Memorial, and this guy had a tent set up like prisoner of war mission in action thing, and we got in this huge discussion with the guy, and it was just,
It was a debate. and
yeah.
He was really brainwashed, I think. He was really pro-guns, pro-NRA, pro-military, pro-America, pro-everything. It's like, you know, just one of those guys, yeah,
hunting's cool, burning the flag is horrible, and if my country... It's weird, he contradicted himself. He said, you can't, the people have to have guns, because if you don't have guns, and the military is the, if the government is the only people that have guns, then they will crush you. But then he turned right around and said that he was loyal to that government, and if they called him up and told him to go fight somewhere, he'd do it without questioning.
Yeah, it's just weird how many people have attitudes like that, because, I don't know, maybe it's just how they...
Where we live, we found the most effective thing we can do is to really try and make everything we say and write at the band like really have some substance, some real meaning, because we were involved in some political organizations for a while, and it's like, it's cool, some people are trying to do stuff, but it's like, you end up being involved with a lot of people that are like, maybe they really care about the particular issue, but a lot of times they're like middle-aged, and it's like, these are like the people that they care a lot about, oh, you shouldn't wear furs, or we got to get out of El Salvador, but it's like their own lives are in shambles. They're still the same people that go out and buy coke, or like beat their kids and stuff. And it's like, change has to start from yourself. You can't, if Bob or I or something, we write lyrics or we go out and we say, this is wrong, and this is wrong, but it doesn't start here first, it's meaningless. It's totally meaningless. Shouting out, speaking out and being visible in marches and stuff like that is great, but if it's not coming from your heart, it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't mean shit. You can't, you know, it's really hard for me to take somebody as sincere if they're saying, you know, we got to get out of El Salvador, or do this or do that, or do this or do that, you know, but it's like they can't even get along with their wife or their husband, their kids, or other people. Yeah, you know, and it's like a lot of people are really way into one issue and avoid the rest, and you can't put all your energy into every issue, but it's hard to listen to somebody that says, we got to stop testing on animals, and then you're with them later on and they're calling people niggers.
Yeah, it's weird too, because we get a lot of shit sometimes, because I mean I think people think we're like self-righteous or something, and I think that's kind of fucked, because I mean we're humans too, and we fuck up. I mean, I'm sure as much as anybody, but it lot. Yeah, and the thing that's so stupid is like, people need to get past all the petty shit, you know, because everybody has their own personality defects and little shit about them that other people don't like or whatever. But it's like, it just seems like when Todd's talking about the issue kind of thing, it's like, I think it is important that you can try and get your own life under control, and then begin on, if you want to make steps towards changing something, because so many people seem like, you know, they say this, and this, and then you hear all this, you know, and then you hear, like Todd said, you know, their own lives are so fucked up. And it's like, you know, that's what I kind of strive for. And it's like, so many people give a shit because, like, okay, me and Todd are vegetarians, and I don't think we started for any really political reason. It just kind of happened, you know?
Yeah.
It just, because there's a lot of things we didn't like, and a lot of things that affect us that we read, or other people, you know, told us and stuff, and it just seemed like it was, you know, made a lot more sense, and then, you know, you start getting shit from people that they think, you know, because I never preach the shit.
You know,
and even at shows,
and people that aren't vegetarians, like, instantly they think that you're like,
yeah, you hate them because they eat meat, and it's like, everybody has their own free will to do what they want, and if we judge people, that's our own, you know, that's our problem.
Yeah.
That's, you know, but it's like so many people, it's like, I gotta quit saying it's like, because that's cool.
Side man, go outside.
You gonna fart?
You already
Yeah.
did.
And also, the thing is, like, locally where we're from, it's like, there's been not lots of bands, but there's been probably like 8 or 9 bands since we started. And it's like, we're the only band that's ever done anything. And the only reason is because we decided we're going to do stuff and we did it on our own. And we never held that over anyone's head or anything. There's a couple other bands in where we're from that if they would have put as much effort into promoting themselves as we did, they could have been pretty successful. But there was like secret grudges going on, you know?
I can tell now.
The only thing is, when it comes to any issue or standing up for anything, we totally believe that anybody can do it, you know?
I always got the will.
Yeah, it's just Bob and I didn't know how to play the instruments we play. We didn't. Bob never played guitar. I never played drums. We were both 19, and we're 23 now. We don't consider ourselves musicians that much,
we're doing okay with the band, and only reason is because we've had the will to do it.
Stuck with it.
And we've educated ourselves on certain issues and stuff, and it's like, anyone can do it. You don't have to be special. It's not like you're born with some fucking gift to grow up and do this shit. It's just like, before we were in the band, I mean, we were pretty normal Joes. It's like we decided we were going to do something, and we did it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody.
The thing, too, is, like, a lot of people, like, going back to the thing where people, like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of judgment. People say, are you guys a political band or something, even though this fart stinks really bad. But that thing always fucking scares me, because it's like, what the fuck do people deem political? I think that with the amount of time most people seem to waste, I mean, like, so many people, it seemed like, where we were from, they just sit and hang out and just, like, their idea of punk rock was to be really obnoxious and kind of be assholes and do kind of asinine.
Walls and
Yeah.
bottles. Some people
Just, yeah, exactly. And it's like more, I think like punk rock got way past that, you know, so much. I mean, it's so much past that the people that do that anymore just seem really absurd to me.
Yeah, it's
You know
not.
what I mean?
It's not political like you're trying to fucking run for office. It's like the state of the world is like there has to be people now that care and try and do something. There are so many things about this world right now that's fucked up that if somebody doesn't try and educate people and say, look, man, this shit's going on, and if we don't stop it, you know, they're tearing down the tropical rainforest. We're not gonna have any oxygen left.
It's to the point
if you're
where
pregnant, if you're gonna have kids, they're gonna grow up in a world. They're gonna have a good chance of dying of cancer. There's a good chance they won't even live. And it's like, if somebody doesn't fucking try to do something about it, what's gonna happen? So it's like, I mean, being political, it's like, it's not like you're doing it to run for office or the only thing we're trying to attain is a better fucking world to live in. That's it. It's like, people are out for money, people are out for power, people are out for prestige or fame or fortune. It's like, there's things that everybody wants, but there's something that's universal that has to be obtained, and that is a safe world for our posterity to carry on in. If we have to look at our future like saying, well, don't even bother reproducing anymore because the kids are going to grow up in toxic wasteland. They're going to have 12 arms going out of their fucking forehead and shit.
Yeah.
You know, what's the fucking use? The human race is doomed unless we put our foot down and do something about it, because there's a lot of money-grubbing assholes out there. All they care about is the buck they're making. They don't care if they're fucking over.
It's
They don't
totally
care what
true.
they're fucking over. That's our major concern. That's our main concern. We're not trying to be political. We're trying to be this. We're trying to be that. It's like, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
a
like,
lot more.
like
That guy in Washington D.C. is like, he's saying, well, man, this is real life. You're gonna have to carry a gun to survive. And it's like, dude, real life is being able to get beyond that.
He's the perfect example of if you're not part of the problem, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Because he said, yeah, he agreed the world was fucked up, but his solution to that was to carry a gun to make sure no one fucked with him. That's bullshit. He's just going along with the way everyone else is. You have to put your foot down and say, nothing's gonna change unless I start it, and it has to start with myself. The only thing time, if something's gonna change, it's like people have to learn to live with each other. And it's like, if you can look at it two ways. You can say, well, I can live this way, or I can live that way. And he decided to live that way, and that way was just to go along with everything. Well, times are bad, and I might get mugged, so I'm gonna carry a gun. And if everybody comes up to me in a dark alley, I'm gonna shoot him in the head. That was his fucking philosophy. Or you can look at the other way and say, well, try to avoid bad areas, and you know, just try to get along with other people. It's like, I don't know.
The biggest thing.
If you're gonna get mugged, you're gonna get mugged, whether you got a fucking gun or not.
How do you feel about fighting?
Violence is bullshit.
There are times when violence just happens, and sometimes it's hard to condemn it, and sometimes like violence can happen against like inanimate objects too. Like in South Africa, I'm not gonna say it's dumb if the blacks riot and tear down like a building that's like a white controlled bank or something. And that's violence.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily bad, but like violence against people.
Human beings is different, you know.
People have brains. People, I mean, especially in mass numbers, violence like one-on-one sometimes is unavoidable too. If someone totally attacks you, you might be put in the situation of, you know, you can be a martyr sometimes, but there are times too, and maybe you're going to have to try and fight this guy off just so you can run away, so you don't get killed. But that's violence as a general rule it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't prove anything. It's totally worthless.
Yeah,
It's
the whole
just-
situation.
It's totally negative and destructive. It's like
The whole situation is different because I mean, if you're in a place where like you're in South Africa or you're in Central America and you're being oppressed by people, then I mean, revolution in a place like that. I mean, unless you live there, I don't even see how you can even judge it. But I
It's
mean,
imminent.
these people like white power or that kind of bullshit. That's fucked. You know, I mean, it's
or like tonight at the bar, there was a lot of. I'm sure that if tonight would have been a smaller show, like there were some people there that looked like they probably would have liked to start fights with some people there.
just because they're
Because they're different. Because they're
Yeah.
sitting there drinking, and this is
people are into that
South
shit
Carolina
sometimes.
or whatever, or anywhere, or Rapid City, and there's like these kids are freaks.
Or
I don't
any
like their
big
music,
city.
I don't like their attitudes.
Yeah, it's not like
They're
this is.
starting to
It's
fight
not
with
like this is even that backwards. You go to any place and people are
There's
like
rednecks
that.
everywhere.
You know, it's just
You have different kinds. Maybe here you guys do have a little more problems with maybe like racial prejudice, but you know,
yeah.
Cali-
It's fucking like this everywhere.
you know, like
the whole
just looking weird. Like I used to have a mohawk. The worst place I ever got stared at was in California.
yeah, the fucking
I
big
mean, we
city,
come from
man.
Rapid City. It's the middle of nowhere, a little town. It's like people there kind of got used to like the punks. They decided, well, there's punks here, and that's it. And it's like I went to California, and people just fucking stared at me, and I'm like, God, I thought this would be the place where I'd fit in. You know, there's rednecks everywhere.
Let me tell you something. I'm not sure if you've heard about this or not, but if you've been watching the news lately, just last week was the 10th anniversary of the Klan shootings in Greensboro, and the wives and the relatives of the people who were killed in the Communist Workers Party, they had they mourned at the Duke Chapel, which is at Duke, and the way the Klan celebrated it, they had a covered dish dinner and they had a turkey shoot.
Yeah, it figures.
And
That's the
those
mentality.
people are fucking
crazy. We were talking about this.
I don't understand how human beings can be that fucked up. And I mean, I have a really hard time fathoming prejudice because I mean, we're all fucking flesh and bone, and that's where it lies, no matter where we're from or what our heritage is. And I mean, remember that fucking movie we watched about Nazis and the and stuff? And there's these people teaching their kids, you know, and think it's all funny. This 2-year-old kid's going nigger, 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 you know, and the parents are going, all right, you know.
But one thing
You know, it's
one
like-
thing you can't see when you watch shit like that is that these people know that their numbers are dwindling. They really do, because they're really, really, really pushing it hard on their kids. And I mean, that sort of mentality used to be the kind of thing where the kids would learn it just from being around a community. And now the people are like really conscious of really trying to pound it into their heads that they have to say nigger and they have to hate blacks and stuff like that. And we were talking about this the other night because of some situation that arose. I don't remember what it was, but we were talking and we said, it's just, it seems like hopefully over the years those kind of people will slowly die out. They'll just,
It's weird. There's a
their
big
numbers will be
reemergence
yes,
right now,
less
though.
and less because there's a lot there's a lot of people that are trying to change that, and there's a big resurgence in it for this reason or that reason, but it's even in some ways it's dying. Like the Nazi skinheads, they're getting a lot of attention, but it's like their numbers are growing and their numbers are dwindling. But one thing you can see if you ever run a lot of Nazi skinheads is that one thing you don't see is Nazi skinheads that are in that group for a long time. They have strong numbers, but a year later they have the same number. But half the people that were there before are gone. It's like people are in it for a fad, or they see the stupidity
Or
of
their
it.
friend is, or something.
Yeah, and it's like the people that are hardcore like that, like
That's crazy.
Metzger, Tom Metzger, and his dad, or
Tom's a dad.
Tom's dad.
I don't remember
what's his
the
son,
son.
Jason or
John.
John Metzger.
Those
yeah.
guys, over the years, hopefully, inevitably, will just become fewer and fewer, and they'll die out. Because one thing that you can also see for the human race, if we survive and if we carry on, is absorption. And it's like that's something that not a lot of people believe in or hope will happen. But someday there probably won't be races. You know, someday probably everybody's going to be a little darker than we are, and we're all going to have some Indian in us, we're all going to have some Asian in us, we're all going to have some African in us, because there's a lot of interracial marriage going on, and it's just more and more people are getting together around their ideals than there are borders. You can see that there's skinheads, there's punks, there's metalheads, there's this, there's that, and it's like people care less and less about borders, which is cool.
Somewhat.
You know, they
Somewhat.
still rally around banners and ideas, but
I don't know. Some of that's kind of fucked though.
Question.
Because there's a lot. There's still a fucking hell of a lot of. I don't know. I think a lot of it's even on the rise. Because there's a lot of people that are getting more and more educated and more, you know, trying to change a lot of things. But I still think there's a lot of more and more, a lot of ignorant people. Because just like, you know, some of the things we try and do is like, I mean, I think how much people fucking sit around and watch TV and just remain like clueless, you know.
I'll tell you what the real scary thing about those Greensboro shootings is I mean, there were 2 or 3 camera people there, and they actually videotaped the people shooting, the people in the Communist Workers' Party, and that they're all acquitted. They never served any
that's
time.
what's fucked. Because, well, for murder you have to be tried in your own state, and so and just like you can't get an impartial jury when something's like that. You know what I mean? Something like that's happening. And that's scary.
That's just pretty idiotic.
Those shootings.
The
skinheads getting acquitted.
What?
That's
Yeah.
fucked. Florida?
No, it was
10 years
they
ago.
were 1979.
Oh.
The people who shot the people in the Communist Workers' Party all
Oh,
over acquitted.
Greensboro? That was Klan people, right?
This is a question
Yeah.
totally off the subject.
Yeah, that's cool.
How's the label?
Record label is we got a thing where More Damn Records does our distribution, and they do distribution for a lot of people, and we just kind of stumbled upon it actually. It helps us out a lot, and we'll hopefully be able to put out some more releases. We're gonna do a 10-inch compilation.
We're still like, we recorded the last record ourselves. We're still pretty much producing and financing everything ourselves.
But we'll hopefully be able to do more and more bands.
But yeah, and the thing with Mordam, it helps with distribution, and that's like, it just gets our records out. We don't have as much control over the prices that you can get them for, but we're trying as hard as we can to let everyone know that you can still get stuff from us cheaper than, you know, like our record is in the stores, and if people pay $9 for it, we can't do anything about that, but they can still get it from us for pretty much what we sell it for anyway.
Plus, it's written, remember, don't pay more than this.
Right, it says...
Right, people at least have
try and put things
the
on the cover,
alternative.
so you don't
you
want
know.
to pay this much for it, you can order it from us for $6 per
Right.
or whatever.
And
We're
it's
gonna-
like, you know, we have did I tell you that Matt called?
No.
Oh, the Painful Extremities record's out now.
Yeah, so it's our...
And that's like our first non-Dissent release, and we're gonna do this comp 10-inch, which actually David Hayes ripped our idea, kind of.
Was that the make that collector nerd sweater or whatever?
No, we were gonna do this comp 10-inch for a long time.
We didn't have money.
And
Otherwise, we would have done it like a year.
Yeah, and
ago.
I don't know if he ripped us off and put that in the zine, but I think he got the idea from us. Kind of, we had this idea like 10 bands, 10 songs, 10-inch kind of thing, and that'll be out by the probably for sure by February.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna try and, you know, expand the record label and do some other bands that are deserving. You know, a lot of record labels start out with a profit thing, like, you know, they jump on the straight edge bandwagon or whatever, and they want to do stuff that's gonna make them money. We're just gonna do bands that deserve it. I don't know.
We're hoping that...
That we feel that we want to support.
There's a strong...
It's a lot of work.
There's a strong middle area of punk rock now. There's this huge, like, a lot of bands on big labels, and a lot of big bands, and a lot of them suck. A lot of them don't have anything to say. A lot of them are only in it for the money, and a lot of them really aren't that good or original. And it's not like we're saying we're great or anything, but there's a lot of bands like us that are really trying to say something. Bazooka Joe. There's a lot of bands like that. There's like their lyrics, they mean something to them, and they're like, they're falling away from the commercialism that's creeping into punk rock, and they're getting back to, like, you know,
Grassroots.
You know, if you want to fucking make money and sign autographs and have groupies all the time, you can play heavy metal. It's like punk rock. There's substance to it. There's a reason for it.
We're gonna get spandex and big wigs, and
It's
make
like
some
that's
cash.
that's the kind of bands we want to help. The bands that like are really hard working, do a lot of stuff themselves, and are really trying to do something with their band other than just get rich and famous.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that are
And
like
hopefully
Definitely.
we can build kind of a big enough, you know, name with Amity that hopefully if we put stuff out, people will know of it.
Yeah, we'll keep things fairly quality, you know. Not like we're gonna reject.
We're gonna try and keep things really good but cheap too.
Yeah, not like not like we're gonna want every band. I don't know. It's just like I think if we had to like lay down a thing of it, if a band could be on our label, hopefully they'd have good things to say and be fairly original.
What the
quality band.
What the prerequisite would have to be is that we'd have to know them.
Yeah, we're not gonna just like some guy send us a tape. Put up the
Yeah,
record.
do you like us?
We'd have to see them and know who they are.
see them and meet them and just like really like know them personally because
Well,
it's
we're-
our money
yeah,
that we make
we're
from
investing
working
on-
our jobs.
right.
That's
I can understand.
And money's not like real like growing on trees real recently, anyways. For me or Todd,
our way.
we still gotta bust ass on some lame fucking job usually to do it.
Save. Like
Yeah.
when everyone else is like out buying all kinds of shit that's sometimes tempting, you're not. You're saving.
Yeah. But it's
Like,
like
I gotta
it's
turn
what
around
we
and
want
put
to
it in
do.
the
So
fucking-
and it's satisfying, when you get the fucking record back in the mail. You're all right, we got vinyl here, pals, and it's like fucking cool. Because it's like a sense of accomplishment. Because so many bands, I think, they sit around and wait for somebody to do it for
Yeah,
them.
I've read
and
lots of interviews. They said, "Oh, we've been around 4 years. We're waiting for a label to pick us up. See you later.
Yeah,
Do it yourself.
yeah,
Do it fucking self.
and even the bands
suck, man.
because like it seems like there's such a big flood of bands in the last few years, more than ever. But I think for bands to stick it out, they got to go out on tour and they got to get a taste of it.
The first time we went on tour, we didn't have a record out. We just had a demo tape out. And it's like, Bob and I had a really good time. Our singer and our bass player left because we had really unrealistic expectations, but we had a really good time. But that's what it takes.
Do both of you talk with your hands?
Him more than me.
No.
Way more.
Do I gesture?
When he gets mad, you should see him, man. When he gets mad, he always does this.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay, here's the deal.
Do what?
When you're just in like average conversation, you use your hands a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That wasn't really my question. It was just sort of
I don't know.
Everybody does.
I kind of fucking. I have
You
my.
give
I have
direction.
my definite opinion on a lot of things.
here and here.
I don't know if people.
These
I don't know if
people-
this is part of the interview, but sometimes people take me wrong because like, we'd like do shows and stuff a lot, and like, I'd get really pissed when things were like, if somebody's starting shit or people are being lame, I'd get really pissed.
Yeah.
I don't know if people take it wrong, but it's just.
I think I got that from
This is kind of off the subject too.
But
But
if my mom is like, if you tied her hands down, she can't talk. I know I can talk.
I don't even like. That's the thing you don't notice personally though.
Like when you wake up with a heart on. You don't do it.
Sitting trying to piss.
You wake up and it's
That's
there.
right. I gotta think I'm whiz, man.
You know
I
what?
gotta piss hard off.
I read this thing and they said it's natural. It's natural and
A
average
Michael
for
Boyd.
any male to have 6 erections during a regular night's rest.
Yeah, I read that
And
somewhere.
they
I wake up
they
with a
found that
fucking
out when
woody
they
once
were
in a
checking
while.
on
Most nights, man.
when you can't
Jesus, what's going on here?
With a woody?
Yeah.
Impotency. They were doing this
Impotency.
study on impotency, and they said that it's physical or psychological. And if it's psychological, they'd watch these guys when they slept, and if they could attain an erection during their sleep,
Then
and they
it's
knew it was
psychological.
psychological, but it was normal to have 6 erections during a normal night's sleep.
Give me some.
Looking at her
Tim.
naked. Hey!
Tim's so funny. The chick's always big Tim. Must be his fucking European
Especially
look.
in GC.
I tell you what, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that one big guy up front looks so much like Dennis Blunden.
Who's he?
The guy from head of the class. I mean, I know that, but
Oh, yeah.
the
I know
big
what
guy
you're talking
with
about.
the black
Yeah,
hair.
he's
Martin again, man.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
we're trying to conduct a civil interview.
Which one was that?
The big guy who kept on jumping on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first band starts and the dude's like,
Oh,
When we played, though, he stood there and kind of just stood there.
He kind of looked
He's
out for
singing
that little
along. He
girl.
must have had that 10-inch before because he knew the words to that song.
Really?
Typical, yeah.
I can't smell.
Hey, I didn't smell either one of your farts, so.
Todd doesn't smell anything though.
I didn't smell gas.
We had this massive gas leak and Todd never believed it was true.
No, I do it too. I can tell the difference now.
Oh, I can tell
I
the
have bad allergies, so I can't smell stuff.
Lucky you.
how have the straight edge bands reacted to you?
Straight edge is weird.
well.
If the people in the bands are usually cool. It's the people that come only see straight edge bands that leave.
It's
Kinda
just,
lame.
the whole thing I think is kind of weird. I don't understand it, so I
It
don't.
depends.
I don't
Some-
have a lot to say about
We've
it.
met a few straight edge people that are really open-minded. They're like, well, I don't drink or do drugs, but that's my choice, and they respect us for our message and stuff. And we're really not like the kind of band that just parties and gets really wasted. It's like we really do things in moderation. We like to drink a few beers after the show, but it's not like we plan on getting drunk every night. So it's like as far as straight edge goes, those people's message doesn't have anything to do with us. None of us like are ruled by drugs or alcohol. None of our lives have been ruined by drugs or alcohol. And it's like we're like the kind of band too that if we're broke, we could go for a month without having beer. But if we have enough money, it tastes good.
Yeah, that's weird.
So
Yeah, it's not like
so what
anything-
straight edge has nothing to
It's
do
not
with
like a
us.
dependency.
Right, right.
Did you want back in?
Another thing that's kind of become connected with straight edge, I don't know how you feel about it, is Hare Krishnas.
Because
That's
that's
just
today or
that's
something.
totally trendy because of you today and Cro-Mags. Even though Cro-Mags aren't straight edge, Cro-Mags tie in with skinheads and skinheads tie in with straight edge, and they both tie in with Hare Krishna.
I like that song. Hare Krishna. You ever heard that song?
I really don't know anything about
It's
Hare
starting to
Krishna.
talk down south almost every once in a while.
Right there,
I've noticed
cool.
it already.
I always pick up
We've only been here for
dialects.
2 days.
We stayed in Arkansas 4 days on our first tour, and I was saying y'all and stuff like
He
that.
goes, you have a major accent.
Tim does?
He said, I do.
Tim,
Tim has an accent though for anywhere because he's from Romania. And it's like if you get
Romania?
He told me I
Yeah.
had a serious accent.
Where's
You
that?
do.
Oh yeah, all you guys do, but
you guys have strong accents.
it's because we're not used to it.
Yeah,
See
we
now,
speak normal.
See, but I don't think I had.
well, here's the deal though. We talked to people about this before, and it's like people from the, especially from the Midwest, pronounce their words more
They
like they are in a
articulate.
dictionary.
If you look in the dictionary,
mean?
it gives a definition, and you look it up. That's the way we speak.
Not like it's good or bad.
Yeah, it's just
the way it
because
is.
we've had no influence really. People
Like-
in the
I
Midwest
like
think
just
I
good
taught the
ended
way
up
things
there.
are pronounced in the
Broadcast.
dictionary.
No, y'all isn't in the dictionary.
no. And like shit, like look at TV. Not like TV's cool or anything.
I would say
News-
y'all.
Newscasters and anything, they all have the kind of
If
normal.
you're from the Midwest
voice,
and you're trained
you
in
Middle of the road.
Yeah,
no,
not
if,
like
Hey,
if you're from the
y'all.
Midwest and you're trained in any kind of TV production, you can get a job anywhere being a newscaster because the people from the Midwest
There's a
are considered to be
pronunciation.
the best
somewhat.
pronunciators, and they are.
Y'all have
Yeah,
that southern
that's-
drawl.
Because
I
one
don't
thing
think
you
I
will
have a
notice if
southern
you watch
drawl.
news, you can watch news
Not
from
as
any
much.
part of the
Actually,
country
you
and the
don't
people
as much
talk
as
the
some
same.
people.
But then
you're
sometimes
right.
they'll
I was
interview
born
local
and
people, and the
raised
local
here.
people have
Yeah.
really strong accents.
They're a
and
band.
you're
You have an
thinking,
accent, but
why
you
don't
don't.
the
Not as
newscasters
much
have
as
that
some people
But
have.
we're getting
sure.
too many conversations here at one time. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
translate
cool.
this,
If it's
so-
chaos, just edit it. You know what I mean? It's like we say,
Oh,
you
remember
know,
that
and
beat
like
thing?
a lot.
But that's just because
Hey, like
The
misguided
Tim
youth.
Don't put that in there. Somebody might read it.
Joey,
That doesn't have
what about the
anything to do with
misguided
it.
youth interview?
That was an accident.
Man, every other word.
I think we should bail out of this van. Does this sound like it long enough then?
Yeah, it's almost
You got a lot
finished.
of
You guys got our
I think
address
it's
and some
long
photos and stuff?
P.O. Box,
'cause I'm looking out.
1916, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57709.
No!
Repeat that one more time, please.
P.O.
I've
Box,
been in here too long.
1916, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57709. Dissent. Care of Todd, Bob, or two.
I gotta pee.
Although if you write in the next 4 months, it'll be me that answers. That's Todd.